There I go. Hi, my name is Raquel. In order to buy or sell, you have to have the money, the beast, on your mind or in your hand. It's one of those words they don't translate correctly in the Bible. They're always lying to us and screwing us and just making life miserable, all because of this money situation. The best minds of a whole bunch of different generations have believed in eliminating money, and I have a whole bunch of these money quotes on my website. Even the Buddhists believed in eliminating money, and they talk about it in Isaiah. But there it is in the Apocalypse. No one buys or sells. The word is charagma. And the Greek-English lexicon by Liddell Scott tells you that the charagma is the impress on the coin and stamp money coin. And the whole context is, buying and selling. It's either on your mind or in your hand. Well, I just got back from this 3-week vacation. It was pretty nice. But, when you come back to Babylon, it's the same old stuff. Got to turn my music down a little bit. And I read this most horrible story about how people are unemployed, and it's called A World of Hurt. It was just the other day in the New York Times. And it's just made me so depressed thinking about these people that are out of work and they have families, and it's like they can't support them. It's like there's a gaping hole in the heart of the working America. It's unlikely to heal for decades. It says 15 million Americans are locked in the nightmare of unemployment, nearly 10% of the workforce. It's actually higher. You can see. And I showed a graph the other day that showed that it's actually 20% in some states. And during the Great Depression, that's how high the unemployment rate was 20%. And then they just can't find work, and they're going to end up losing their benefits after a while. They had a survey of people who were jobless, and almost hardly any of them found any work. And people are used to work at $75,000 salaries aren't getting that anymore. And this economist is saying this isn't your ordinary dip in the business cycle. It's like a Katrina of recessions. Another economist said it's going to be like they're going to call these children the recession children, just like during the Depression. My grandparents and parents went through that. 3/5 said they'd experienced feelings of helplessness. And then one respondent, I've always worked, it's very depressing at 60. I would be unemployed unless I chose to be. Another said, I fear for my family and my future. We are about to be evicted, bills are piling up, we have sold everything possible we can to maintain, and are going under with little hope of anything. Unemployment benefits for many are running out, and the recession may be ending for some. Tell that to the unemployed. It's like the day before I left on my vacation, I got this most horrible letter from this HOA. I've got 50 vacant lots in this subdivision, and they're not really even completed. Most of them are just dirt. And they say I owe them $11,000, for past dues. I wasn't paying any dues because they weren't really doing anything. And if I don't pay this $11,000, they're going to steal these lots from me. They've always been wanting to steal these lots. It's like $1 million worth of property. And so there goes a European vacation, $11,000. I'm going to try to make payments on it. But during my whole vacation, that was hanging over my head. I knew I'd have to deal with it when I got back, and I still haven't really dealt with it. I called the head of the HOA, this guy named Stephen Russo. He's a lawyer here. He's been a lawyer here in town for 40 years. And they bought the land from National Bank. National Bank lost $35 million on this deal. The former owners of these lots were like crooks, I hate to call them that, but I don't know if they were really, I don't know what they were up to. One guy tried to assault me at one of the HOA meetings, and they had to call him back because this guy was flipping lots between his shell corporations to boost up the price and get loans for him. I told him at one of these HOA meetings, I said, look, why don't you buy my lots for $16,000 each? That's what you think they're worth. And he jumped out of his chair and almost assaulted me because I said this in front of everybody in the room. There must have been 30 people in the room. And I was so afraid to go back to any more HOA meetings. I had this friend of mine come with me, but he ended up getting run over by a car. And anyway, the National Bank foreclosed against these people and lost $35 million. That's one of the biggest losses. It was the biggest loss that National Bank of Arizona ever had. Oh dear, so I got back from this vacation, have to deal with this stuff. I went to the Burning Man, and I went to the best nude beach in North America. It's called Black's Beach. It's just south of Del Mar, California. They have a really nice parking place there. You can get like 300 cars, maybe more, along the coast, and you can watch the sunset and sit in your car, and it's just really beautiful. Like when I went there over the weekend, it filled up. If you didn't get there by 9, every single place was taken. And then you walk down from there about a mile or so, and you get to this most beautiful nude beach. It's at Torrey Pines State Park, and it's just below the Torrey Pines Golf Course. And it's pretty near the San Diego University. And they have the most beautiful people jogging down there, and the sunsets are just so awesome. It's just like paradise. But it's a fool's paradise. You know, San Diego gets their water from Hoover Dam, and I went by Hoover Dam. It was like the lowest I've ever seen it, and it keeps getting lower. But they have backup up there at Lake Powell, so they can keep releasing water up there, and once the water at Lake Mead reaches a certain level, there won't be enough water to generate electricity. So like Los Angeles and Las Vegas especially is going to have problems getting electricity. And I think already it's getting pretty close to the point where the siphon that takes water to Las Vegas is going to be too low, so they're going to have to build a new one, like $2 billion. And so like when I went from San Diego to Burning Man, I went through Los Angeles, but I went way, way far east, and there was just so much smoke from that fire you couldn't even see the sun. And I got over I think it's the San Bernardino Mountains, and started heading north on Highway, 395 on the other side of the Sierras. And like just over the other side of those mountains, they have these huge, ugly subdivisions. I mean, the Mojave Desert there is much uglier than the Sonoran Desert here. The only thing I really saw there was like creosote bush and a few Joshua trees on the desert, and it's like dusty, and it was just the most hellacious place I've ever seen. And they had these people on the street corners there with these signs, and they would rock the signs like this, and the sign said, "Steal this house." You know, they're trying to sell houses. I think it was even a Sunday afternoon, but that's probably the best day for real estate. And these people were standing on these street corners with these signs trying to sell houses there. And, you know, sheetrock 2x4, ugly-looking things with hardly any yard. You know, and I don't know where the people would work if they had to commute every day, but, like, you know, I'd sure hate to grow up there and grow up. But anyway, let's go on. Well, let's do something else here. My mom sent me this. She's always sending me articles. It's the 10 places, top 10 places to decomplicate, and Tucson is one of the best. The Association of Retired People lists Tucson as the best, and they show a picture of our snow on the mountains with the, the San Javier, well, they say that's St. Augustine's Cathedral. That's downtown Tucson. And the pretty mountains, you know. Whoop, gosh, I wasn't showing this to you, stupid me. I thought I was. There we go. Let's go back again. Whoops, there we go. I'm just so spaced out. Kelly, I come back, and it's like I've lost my mind. It's like, you know, I mean, this reality is just, it's something you want to escape. It's just, you know, it's just incredible what's going on here, and when these people lose their unemployment benefits, it's really going to be bad. That's like the worst part of this whole economic catastrophe. In that article I was showing you earlier, you know, like usually during the good times, you know, they'd create like 100,000 jobs a month, but we've got 9.4 million people. That's how many jobs we have to find. In order to buy or sell, you have to have the money to be on your mind, in your hand. Bye.